Hello and welcome to today's lesson. Today we are going to look at Form 4 mathematics and the topic linear programming, specifically under optimization, that is maximization and minimization of the given function. This is a topic that extends from Form 2 mathematics under linear inequalities, and in Form 2 we talked about inequality symbols, where we said if you get an inequality symbol that looks like this one, this inequality symbol means less than. It means less than. We also talked about another inequality which means greater than. Another inequality we talked about is less or equal to. This one means less or equal to. Then we have this inequality symbol which means greater or equal to. This one means greater or equal to. So these are some of the inequalities that we are going to use when joining the given functions under linear programming. So let us read the question together. Ombondi makes two types of shoes, that is type A and type B. He takes 3 hours to make one pair of type A and 4 hours to make one pair of type B. He works for a maximum of 120 hours to make X pairs of type A and Y pairs of type B. It costs him 400 shillings to make a pair of type A and shilling 150 to make a pair of type B. His total cost does not exceed 9,000 Kenya shillings. He must make 8 pairs of type A and more than 12 pairs of type B. So let us form the inequalities, because the first part of the question, write down 4 inequalities representing the information above for you to get 4 marks. So on Monday makes, we have type A, and Omondi makes X pairs of shoes of type A, and also type B is making Y pairs. So let us go through the question once again. Omondi makes 2 pairs of shoes, type A and type B. He takes 3 hours to make one pair of type A and 4 hours to make one pair of type B. He works for a maximum of 120 hours to make X pairs of type A and Y pairs of type B. So the first thing we are going to start with is that he makes type A shoes and also makes type B, and we know he makes X types of X pairs of type A and also Y pairs of type B. In total, to make one pair of type A, it takes a maximum of 3 hours, and to make one pair of type B, it takes 4 hours. And in a day, he works for a maximum of 120 hours. What does it mean? It means if he makes X pairs for 3 hours and Y pairs for 4 hours, the total number of hours is equal to 120, meaning the total number of hours worked to make type A will be equal to 3x, and the total number of hours required to make type B will be equal to Y times 4 giving us 4y. Since this person works for a maximum of 120 hours, it means the total number of hours required to make type A will be 3x plus the total number of hours required to make type B, which is 4y, and this one must be equal less than or equal to 120 hours, since he works for a maximum of 120 hours. That means the number of hours worked does not exceed 120, so we use less or equal to 120. This inequality it cannot be simplified any further because we do not have the common factor between 3, 4. So this is our first inequality here to get 1 mark. Then we continue. It costs him 400 shillings to make a pair of type A. If he makes X pairs, the total cost for type A will be 400 X and 150 shillings to make a pair of type B. So if we make Y pairs of type B and each costs him 150, the total cost is going to be 150Y, and the cost of making this does not exceed 900. That means again we are going to use less or equal to 9,000. Sorry. So we can now simplify this further by using the common factor here. And the common factor here is we can use 0 and 0 can cancel, so that we remain with 40x plus 15y is less or equal to 900. So we can use 5. 40 divided by 5 you get 8x plus 15 divided by 5 you get 3y. This is less or equal to 900 divided by 5 you get 180, and that is our equation 2. Next, we proceed. He must make 8 pairs of type A and more than 12 pairs of type B. So if we must make 8 pairs of type A, and type A we have X, so we can say X must be less or equal to 8, and this is our third inequality. And lastly, and more than 12 pairs of type B. So we can say Y is greater than 12 because he must make more than 12 pairs, greater than 12, and this is our fourth inequality here. So far we have answered the first part of the question that has 4 marks. Let us move down to part B. So part B of the question says, on the grid provided, draw the inequalities and shade the unwanted regions for marks. I'm going to show you the easiest way of representing the given inequalities on the Cartesian plane. Let us have our Cartesian plane here. We have our Cartesian plane. Our Cartesian plane looks like this. I know if you look at the inequalities, the highest value we are likely to have is around 60, 70 there. So we are going to begin with our 0. This is our y-axis, and this one is our x-axis. So we are going to begin from the common point, which is 0. Let us assume this one is 10, 20, we have 30, we have 40, we have 50, Then we have, of course, 60. This one is equally 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Let us say this one is 70 because the graph is never exact. Now we can begin with the first one. The first inequality we have is 3x plus 4y is less or equal to 120. So if we make y the subject, then we take, for us to make y the subject, we need to take positive 3x to the other side. Then of course we draw a table so that we can get the values of x and y to use them to plot this graph. But I want us to use the easiest way to do that. So take 3x to equate to 120. If you take 3x to equate to 120, you divide by 3, our x is going to be equal to 40. And if you take 4y to equate to 120, then divide by 4, our y is going to be equal to 30. Just come to the Cartesian plane. Come to the Cartesian plane here. We have x is 40 at this point, and our y is 30. This is our x-axis. Sorry, our x-axis, we have our x is 40 and our y is 30 at this point. So we can draw this. Just come and draw this line here. Once you have drawn this line, look at the inequality symbol. The inequality symbol is less or equal to, meaning what we need is below the line. So we are going to shade this upper region here, because what we need is below this line. What we need is below this line. And by so doing, you would have represented this. We can say this is the line 3x plus, let me write it here, this one is 3x plus 4y is equal to 120. Next, we take the second inequality, which is 8x plus 3y is equal to 180. Take x to equate to 180, so our x is going to be equal to 180 divided by 8. So if you take 180 divided by 8, so 180 divided by 8 will give us 22.5. And our y, take 3y is equals to 180. So 180 divided by 3, you get our y as 60. So we can still come and plot the 2 points. When x is 22.5, this one is 20. And between 20 and 30, we have 10 units here. So this is 20, 21, 22. So 22.5 is here. And our y is 60. So we know our y is 60 at this point. Now we can join the 2 points without any problem. Let us join the 2 points this way. And now we look at the inequalities direction. This one means what we need is below. What we need is below the line. So the region we do not want is this one here. This is the region which we do not want. So we can shade it. And after shading it, don't forget to name this line. This is 8x plus 3y is equals to 180. Then we move down. We have been told x is less or equal to 8. So this is where we have our x axis. So this is 0 and this is 10. So we can get our 8. This is 0, this is 5, 6, 7, 8. This is where we have our x as 8. So you come and draw this line like this. Come and draw the line where x is equal to 8. And now we look at the arrow, or the inequality tells us whatever we need is below. So we are going to shade above this line because we do not want this region here. We do not want this region, and this is our x is equals to 8. Next, we have the last inequality where x is greater than 12. Y is greater than 12. And in this case, we are going to move along the y-axis to where we have y is 12. So this is 10, 11, 12. This is where we have our y is equal to 12. And since we have the inequality symbol that says y is greater than 12, we are not going to use a complete line. We are going to use a broken line at this point here. This is where we have our y being equal to 12. So we can say our y is equal to 12 here. And then we see that whatever we need is above the line, above this line here. So we are going to shade below. We are going to shade below this. So whatever we need is going to end up being at this point here. This is the required region here.